In a world where dimensions collide and heroes rise, comes a new line of 6.5-inch action figures with 31 points of articulation. Behold, the Combat Creatures.
Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly, and I have to get something off my chest. Over the past week, there's been questions. I've been getting tagged a lot, and I thought, you know what, I might as well come out and say it. It's been weighing heavy on my heart, and I've been trying to come up with the words, but I guess I'll just come out and say it. It's harder than I thought. Robo really does want an Oreo.
And he says, Robo wants an Oreo. And I looked at him and go, no, it's just you and I. Robo doesn't get an Oreo. Robo wants an Oreo. Robo got upset.
I haven't got a damn clue about Randy Moore and his f***ing Oreos.
Hey, you sick of Target jerking you around over their exclusive Hasbro Marvel Legends Hawkeye series tracksuit Mafia pre-order? I've approved several times. In fact, I woke up this morning and approved it, and there's no end in sight. They just say, okay, it may happen, it may not happen, but sit tight. Thankfully, both Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth put up pre-orders this week, and I'm not gonna cancel my Target because now it's just morbid curiosity. I gotta see if they're gonna fulfill. If they don't, cool, I can still get it from somewhere else, but if they do, it's multiples. It's an army builder. It's meant to have more than one version on the shelf. So there you go. That's all I got. Oh, actually, going back to the Hasbro Marvel Legends Lilandra reveal, my best good friend Prodigy pointed out that the gauntlets, the bracers on the forearms, are actually reuse. Those come from Quake, and I would have never realized it because, do I have Quake? If I do, I don't think I've opened her. A little more reuse than I thought, but still a lot of new. Plus it's Lilandra, it's X-Men. And do you want to talk about X-Men for 30 or 45 minutes? Wait, we're not gonna do that. Like you saw in the intro, the Morphonauts Combat Creatures Kickstarter is live and kicking. I get Kickstarter, kickstart, kick. There's too many kicks in that sentence. The short version, 6.5-inch scaled figures inspired by battle beasts. The long version, just nicely sculpted anthropomorphic wolves and sharks and bears and lions with kick-ass armors and weapons inspired by battle beasts. Now, I was never hot and heavy into that property, but of course I've seen them around. So seeing this modernized version in a scale more up my alley, oh, okay, look at that. I really dig that each character has an armored helmet that kind of makes it an army builder. You can slap those on and have troops behind the main character. It took me a minute to acclimate to the design scheme with the limbs and the articulation, but after I to say it again, battle beasts, it has that feel to it. I mean, there's even a 3D printed mini BB tier with sculpts that are compatible with actual battle beasts. I think the shark is my favorite. We just do not have enough humanoid sharks in our lives. There's about 20 days left in the campaign, so if you're interested, go throw down your money, give them hell. Last week we talked about the Spero Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, The Void, going up for pre-order, and then directly afterwards, as the weekly went up, the Spero team was at Legion's Con, where they showed off their new Bushido series. And yeah, it is a leap away from what we're used to seeing with Animal Wars of the Kingdom. In fact, it's a complete departure from their trademark style. That's because these are the brainchild of Dan Mitchell, who's done sculpting for Marvel Legends, and Power Rangers, and Fortnite, and G.I. Joe Classified series, and of course Animal Wars of the Kingdom. That's why they're different, but familiar. Dan is doing all the concept and the sculpting, Spero's just doing the production. The blurb says, Bushido has modularity in mind with interchangeable heads and accessories across all similar figures in the line and should scale well with many other popular 1/12 scale figures already in your collection. Like I said, Spero did have a couple of outputs at the con last week, and you can see that there's a muscle-based body body, there's a clothed base body, and then varying degrees of gear. The same blurb also mentions Oni, yokai, and other mythical folklore monsters. So what kind of craziness are we going to get up to in 2024 when we find out more about this line? I guess we'll see. That seems like a proper segue into the newest wave of Super 7's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, it's been a while, hasn't it? Ultimates! Getting old, I think I hurt myself. But it is capitalized with an exclamation point. That's how they mean for you to say that. In fact, they're probably asking you to walk up to them at shows and do that right there in the booth. Just, Ultimate! Okay. Anyway, Wave 11 gives us some variants of figures we already have, and then a triumphant return of a character that was pulled from a previous assortment. First, there is the Battle Damage Foot Soldier. Pretty straightforward here. Take your existing Foot Soldier, rough it up a bit, add some new bare metal parts and pieces, boom. More evil minions to flank your Shredder. Rapper Mike is a Playmates homage, staying fairly faithful to the 80s release. I'm guessing the alternate Mikey head here can be retrofitted back to the standard Michelangelo, or used here, or anywhere, whatever you want to do. That's what accessories are for. I like that the turnaround shows the back of the boombox, which is a device that we used to use to play music utilizing physical media called cassettes, for all you kids out there. Anyway, the back of the boombox features a turntable, which gives it more of that vintage figure feel. It also looks like the hat is on a swivel because in the here's what you get picture, the brim is to the back, but in the glamour shot, it's turned to the side. So I gotta guess that it's either separate or articulated. Ninja Nomad Leonardo was a head scratcher at first. For some reason, Super 7 didn't post the action shots on their site, so this is all I had to go by, and there's not a lot going on. The Geta, and yes, I looked that up, blame the internet if it's wrong, and the Gasa. Again, I typed wooden shoes and straw hat into Google, and that's what I got. Those I like. The trash can lid hat, it's okay. I get it, I really do, but that flat plane on top of all those nice turtle curves, it just kind of breaks the transition, the silhouette. It's like muscles and shell and big round noggin, then flat. Just stops right there. Plus, it's a stupid thought, but that is not comfortable. Has anybody else ever worn a trash can lid as a helmet? No? You're right, they make better shields, don't they? Then there's the soft goods shawl. Off to the side like this doesn't seem like much, and it makes the figure seem kind of lacking. Oh, it's Leo with some shoes and some headwear. But then I found the pretty promotional shot on Entertainment Earth, and that ties it all together. Just a nice, basic, original design that works better with the sum of all its parts. Well, okay, this still has the trash can lid hat. I'd like to see it with the alternate head, but this is enough pudding proof for me. And then to round out the wave, Rat King comes back after being pulled out of Wave 10. This is Wave 11, so really we didn't have to wait that awful long to see the revisions, right? Basically, Rat King got booed out of Wave 10 for just being too damn pretty. I know, it's a hard life. I understand. Me and you, bud, we both have our crosses to bear. But then when he was replaced with Karai in Wave 10, everybody booed that they wanted Hot Rat King. You can't win. Just the daily goings-on of toy companies and their decisions. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I will say it worked out in the end because this is a nice compromise. And dare I say, improvement? They've added the Playmates flourishes back to the costume with the bones and the bugs and the rats, and then made him the ugly sumbitch he always was back in the vintage line. If that's not your bag, the handsome head is also included. So everybody's happy, right? Everybody in the collecting community is just overjoyed, and we can all sing songs together and hang out and go to eat and have conversations that don't end in arguments about adults buying playthings that are just trying to twang that nostalgia string right here in our hearts, right? I mean, We're all just gonna get along from now on? I'm just joking, calm down. But for a lot of people, this is the rodent ruler that they were looking for. Is that being presumptuous? Oh, I nearly forgot the bonus super pack. If you order the wave directly from Super 7, you get some neat accessories to go with the figures, but I like this because they're not essential. They're not, well, I won't say necessary. I like having as many options as possible, but it's not alternate heads. It's just neat little things to throw at the figures. But if you're cherry picking, then there you go. HIYA Toys out of the blue this week with their exquisite super Universal Soldier Luke Devereaux. Did they even announce the license for this movie? I mean, it seems like they usually have a run-up, like silhouettes, and then teasers, and then boom, here's the figure. But this was just pow. That's why I said out of the blue. That's what that means. Maybe I lost it in the shuffle of Rambo and Judge Dredd and other lines that aren't in my scale. Exquisite Super is their 1/12 scale line of soft goods covered super articulated figures based on properties that I haven't watched in a long time. I had completely forgotten about Universal Soldier. So I'm probably not gonna run out and pre-order this, but I would still like to see a companion Dolph Lundgren piece for him. No, it's not the greatest Jean-Claude Van Damme likeness, at least two of the heads. The third does look pretty good, especially with the eye-tech thing on. And then the clothing has that puffy look that we've almost come to expect from Exquisite Super. But don't tell me you would not like to see this standing next to their Sylvester Stallone Rambo. Right? I mean, side by side, that would be a display. You gotta think HIYA's looking to lock down an Arnold movie of some kind. Or Chuck Norris, that would be pretty sweet. Or, why hasn't anybody done Expendables in this style? Was there? I think there was an Expendables line. Was it larger? Something? I don't know. Like I said, movies I haven't seen in a long time. Getting their action figures. I don't have a lot to say about this Threezero MDLX Megaman because this is the only picture I have. All the information is right there because it says Threezero MDLX and that's Megaman. The figure looks great, but I have this idea of MDLX in my head of, you know, super articulation, some die cast, some modernization of classic designs. This doesn't give me those vibes. Again, it's a great looking Megaman, but can it move? What's the scale? Will it be $60, $80? I won't ask why, because really, any company that goes out and grabs a license has every right to release what they want for said license. Nothing wrong with that. So I can't say, well, why would they go out and do this if Jada Toys is doing the same thing for cheaper? I don't know. But based on their Transformers, I gotta think that either the articulation is really well hidden here, or they haven't cut it in yet. So, your guess is as good as mine. Y'all know that I do not keep up with the goings-on in the Spawn universe, but when this McFarlane Toys King Spawn ran across my feed, I found it interesting. And if you know me, you know why. Wings! They're so cool. But it's also not a bad looking Spawn figure. Sure, it is a lot of reuse, mostly from the Spawn with Throne Deluxe set, but I do think that torso is new. It's just a lot more textured than any of the other Spawns I see when I type Spawn into the search bar on McFarlane Toys site, you know? I'm scrolling through. Nope, not that one, not that one, not that one. Plus, I'm thinking that it needed new tooling to plug the wings into the back, maybe? Or King Spawn needed that extra oomph because the head is definitely new, right? With the little devil horns. And yes, I know the wings are redeemers. Those are reused too, but you know what? That's okay because those are an excellent sculpt. Not the most articulated other than right at the base, but they're pretty. There's also an arsenal of guns repurposed from one of the munitions packs. So Spawn at $25. Got a munitions pack, or at least half one. I'm still gonna call it $15. That leaves, carry the knot, another $15 for the little minions. At least they're unique sculpts, and there is some articulation involved. You can see the little guy, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and I guess the trading card adds a little value, right? And the wings, don't forget about the wings. You know I keep a closer eye on McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. I'm always on the hunt for some classic goodness or some weird wackiness. Last week we were treated to the initial reveals of the latest collector edition wave, but now there's solicitations. That means more pictures. Let's take a better look. With Green Lantern Batman, not a lot we didn't already know except for the effects. I couldn't find these on any of the other Green Lantern figures that, I typed into the search bar on the top of McFarlane.com. But with these being generic looking, and I don't mean generic in a bad way, I just mean that they're punchy effects. They could have came with somebody else in different color scheme, you know? I don't know. But going deeper there, what does that say about Batman's imagination? A lot of other Green Lanterns come up with intricate constructs. Meanwhile, Batman's like, I want to punch stuff really hard. With Return of Superman, we already saw the base figure here. We knew it was reuse of the huge, hulking Dark Knight Returns Superman. I was more interested in the announced Crypto that wasn't shown. Turns out, it is a plastic slug, just an unarticulated super dog to hang out with Clark. And somehow, putting it into the picture makes Superman look even more ballooned up, you know? Hey, buddy, lay off the sun rays. You've had enough for today. But once again, I sing the praises of Captain Carrot. Oh, Captain Carrot, you are so beautiful. Oh, Captain, my Captain. From what a lot of you said, this is loosely based on a more modern incarnation, but it still has todifications, like the texture to the suit and the grimness. He's not dark and brooding. He's wearing bright yellow, red, and orange for God's sake. But even then, he does look like he has an issue or two. Get it? Issue? Comics? That's why I make the big $1.50. No idea why he has a trigger finger, but I'm looking at that thumbs up and the pointer and thinking of all kinds of cool photo ops. And according to Jason Langston at McFarlane Toys, the ears are ball jointed. That's just icing on the carrot cake. This cannot release fast enough. I'm all over it. It's weird, it's wacky, it's fun. But to add fuel to the fire, there are platinum editions of these collector editions. That's right, they are named Collector Edition Platinum Editions. Switching up the order, Superman gets a darker color scheme to his costume, and then green skin tones on both him and Crypto. I'm guessing this is kryptonite poisoning of some kind? Like a specialized kryptonite that doesn't kill Superman, just causes severe bloating or something. The Green Lantern Batman variant gets an ecto-cooler translucent plastic makeover that made me go, why? But then my gears got to turning and I thought, well, maybe it's a force field that also gives him stealth capabilities. But then I took it even further, an idea I like even better, and this could be an actual ring construct. You know, Hal or Kyle or John messing with Guy. Oh, look out, it's Batman, Guy, one punch. Ooh. But then there is the Platinum Edition Captain Carrot, and this hurts my soul. The yellows are brighter, the green trunks are sillier, the brown fur in places gives it a natural feel, but most of all, the pupils added to the eyes. That just makes it feel cartoony while maintaining that DC Multiverse aesthetic. Oh, it is still a big buff bunny bastard, but it evokes a more classic feel than the standard release. It's the same character, one is modern, one is golden age, and I want both. I want these to bookend a shelf. It's just too bad that the Platinum Editions are chases. Which I say in a bad way, having just found the Collector Edition Platinum Edition Hawkman at Books A Million the other day for retail price. So I feel like they're gonna get out there, but they're still chase. They're still harder to find. But you know Todd, gotta keep everything moving. We get some pre-orders, means there's also new reveals. I don't know why I just waxed on and waxed off. Here is the gold label Target exclusive Animal Man, and you remember me saying way back about always being on the lookout for some classic goodness? Oh, most of my mental images have a jacket, but this will do fine because that head and hand are awesome. Plus it's gold label. Will there be a variant Animal Man at some point? Maybe with a different animal thing on his hand and the jacket? I don't know. And remember, Classic goodness. That also applies to the gold label Target exclusive Red Tornado. Reuse brings a couple of details that aren't quite accurate to this version or that version, but the overall spirit is intact here. I love McFarlane veering in and out of lanes. Classic stuff? Oh man, I gotta put some pre-orders in and then back over to modern where my wallet gets a break for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, because these still sell. And then these still sell, just to different crowds. I don't expect everything to be catered to my own personal wants and needs. Raise your hand if you knew Tamashii Nations 2023 was happening this weekend. Okay, you're way better collectors than I am, because I didn't know. I had to double check it was November the other day because I was told, well, Thanksgiving's next week. Next week? What the hell happened to 2023? Anyway, this is the show that Bandai throws out prototypes for us to ooh and ah over, and then leaves us wondering if we'll ever see them solicited. I'm fairly certain we'll see this Aquaman, because one, it's an amazing sculpt, and two, it's an upcoming movie. I feel like Tamashii Nations will want to jump on the hype of that releasing. Plus the first one did fairly well, so maybe they see it as getting their money back on this. But I have no proof or data to back up those claims. That's just me pondering, that's me rambling. Because the placard does say display only, and we've seen that a lot in the past, and that doesn't always mean get ready to lay your money down. I want to say the same thing about this Flash, who apparently ran through some cobwebs or something. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know what's going on here. This movie's already passed, so they may look at this as, well, we did the prototype, we didn't get it out in time for the movie, here's this. At this point, it almost feels like they're just filling space around the figures they do plan on releasing. Because again, display only. Oh, those words start to hurt after a while. I will eat my hat if we see a pre-order for this S.H.Figuarts Star Wars The Mandalorian Imperial Armored Commando, though. Oh, I want it. I really, really want it. I will gladly dine on chapeau, but ooh, they haven't had the greatest track record with this property lately, huh? We haven't even gotten Moff Gideon yet, and that got as far as promo pictures back in 2021 and reappeared in the case last year. Nothing. This may have a better chance because it's a trooper, but it's also a new sculpt, and as we've seen in the past, being a trooper doesn't even guarantee anything. Because this Mandalorian Remnant Stormtrooper and then the Mandalorian Biker Scout with Speeder Bike have been hanging out in display cases since 2019. Oh, Bandai, you thought we forgot, didn't you? Almost 5 years of prototype limbo. Throw us a bone. These are just repaints. You already have the tooling for these. Display only. No. The only newish type figure in the Fwoosh wheelhouse that is seeing a release is the S.H.Figuarts The Marvel's Captain Marvel. Her placard actually has a price and a release date, which is coming up fast, so I'm sure we're gonna see solicitations here soon, very, very soon. I saw the movie this week, I liked it well enough, but like I said last week, I wish they had went with Kamala or Monica first, and then come back around to Carol because they've done a few Carols. But I get it, title character. Saying that, they could have worked on the likeness a bit more. Still better than the previous version, but not great. I will say that I like the powered up head better, mostly because it takes away some of the defining features like eyeballs. And then finally, I would almost guarantee that we're gonna see a solicitation for Spider-Punk from Across the Spider-Verse sooner rather than later. It's Spider-Man related, it's Spider-Verse, it's a kick-ass looking action figure, and it's a nice addition to the team that they've already been building. I gotta think, to them, it's like printing money, you know? It seems like a no-brainer. Yes, it says display only too, but I have a lot of confidence in these predictions, even though I don't like doing predictions, but we'll see. And that is all I have for this week. If you're wondering about the Robo Wants an Oreo thing, then I'll put the link to that up here. But it is hilarious. I got tagged so many times in that. Also, I know you're sick of hearing it, but I'm still playing with lights. Hopefully this key's better, and I've got some extra lights, so hopefully I don't look like I have a halo or too bright or something. We'll see how it goes though.